Some slushy accumulation will cause issues for the morning commute. You know how it is. Everyone everywhere has the same challenges. So snow, the great equalizer, right? We got that chance for snow all the way up into southern New England. We got winter weather advisories up there. Kingston, that includes you in Rhode Island, New Haven, and Connecticut. New York City still under the winter weather advisory, and a winter storm watch in effect for us here in parts of South Jersey, along with the winter weather advisory for this morning. So let's talk about what's happening now, because it's two-pronged for us in the Northeast. We'll get this, and then later into Saturday, as our system goes through the southeast and off the coast, we'll get a little bit of snow back up into this area as well. Focusing on the here and now, let's just worry about this morning. Very light snow coming through New York City. We've got some light snow out there on Long Island this morning too. There could be a little more enhancement. You can see that on the radar just north of town. So your commute this morning may be on a snow-coated roadway. Sidewalks could be slushy, could be slippery. Temperatures are all below freezing everywhere. So certainly anything out there is going to be frozen. We take a look at what's happening from the radar now and put this into future mode. This is on its way out. So this is this morning. By this afternoon, we're going to be looking for improved conditions in terms of what's falling from the sky. Boston, you can see, again, mainly a morning event. By lunchtime, things are clearing out for you. And then we just kind of wait for what's going to happen next. There will still be some lake effect. We'll have a little more on that this morning. The lake effect has been epic across western New York and actually very tough for travel there. But let's talk about what's going on with Helena in New York City. Today, a little bit of snow for you for the morning commute. And then tomorrow, about midday, we'll look for a little more burst of snow to come on through here. In the south here, this is what has folks nervous. Snow in the south, something you don't expect very often and don't necessarily have enough equipment to handle completely. So here's what's happening. Winter weather advisories are posted for parts of Arkansas, Tennessee, part of Alabama. Half the state winter weather advisory, a little portion of the state winter storm warning, and that extends into Georgia. Atlanta under a winter storm warning. The warnings now extend up through Charlotte and Raleigh, Greenville, Spartanburg, you're in that mix as well, but now including around the Norfolk, Virginia area, winter storm warning for an impactful snow event. So here's how it's going to play out today. This is our future radar. We actually do have some snow this morning that's been spreading from Oklahoma into Arkansas. We'll see that continue into parts of Tennessee. That is pretty light in terms of accumulation. What we're waiting for is our area of low pressure down off the Gulf of Mexico to form. That's going to bring us a little more moisture potential. We'll also be watching for that to bring the chance for some snow across portions of Alabama into Georgia, and accumulating snow overnight tonight into tomorrow early morning. Western South Carolina into North Carolina. There's going to be snow all the way from the mountains of North Carolina, but straight out to the coast, we could see some wintry weather, and certainly Raleigh and up towards Norfolk. You guys are in that bullseye for some heavier accumulations. Let's look at that in terms of how much snowfall potential is there. And there's a range, and you know how it is with snowfall. There's going to be someone in your area that gets, you know, an inch or two, and someone that gets 3 or 4. That it happens just like it happens with thunderstorms, right? And rainfall accumulations. But we've got that chance of snow up here, 3 to 5 inches of snow possible into northeast Georgia, the Atlanta area. Again, the chances of snow range really from an inch to up to 4 inches, maybe locally higher if you go east of town. Up into South Carolina and North Carolina, the range is from 5 to 8 inches. You get up over here into, say, the Piedmont and Raleigh and the Triangle area, we could see 8 to 12 inches of some snowfall up into southeastern Virginia as well. And again, the timing of this, a lot of it's going to fall overnight tonight. To get where you need to be early this evening, stay there, and you know you may have to very well plan to be in that same location throughout the day tomorrow. We'll talk about the cold coming in after, because that's going to be a big part of the story. Could be a little bit of ice and sleet to start the event. We'll watch that into the south as well. Atlanta area starting with a wintry mix early this evening, and then, you know, after midnight, the snow really starting to accumulate as those temperatures drop below the freezing mark. All right, here's what we know right now about Winter Storm Helena. The storm is tracking across this morning. We are here. It is Friday. We are going to get you through the next couple of days, starting, of course, with what we're dealing with right here into the south and east, and that wintry weather taking shape. Plus in the west, got to talk about what's happening in the west too, because you have a big weekend coming in weather-wise for what's happening. Today nice, although cold, and that cold in the west is going to set the stage for what's happening. Snow possible in Seattle, freezing rain possible for you in Portland, Oregon. In the southeast, that snow will be wrapping up throughout the day, but you know, travel is pretty much going to be impossible. All the way, say 85, 95 from Atlanta straight up to Raleigh, and then 95 up here into Virginia. It's going to be very tough with that snowfall. Now the snow goes away by Saturday night. However, it's very cold, and the temperatures overnight will be in the 20s, if not the teens. And so we're going to be looking for that cold to keep anything that's not cleared on the roadways getting into the day on Sunday. All right. And east and what's coming next. So right now we've got some light snow wrapping up. Really, you can see New York City not snowing at the moment in Central Park. It's been fairly light, anything that we've had. Same thing on Long Island. It's been a little steadier in spots in Connecticut. And so some of your commute might be on snow-covered roads here. If they haven't plowed, if they haven't treated, you could be having some slippery spots. Rhode Island, again, some very light snowfall. In Boston, nothing hitting the ground just yet, but there is that chance with some winter weather advisories in effect right here through the morning. Allentown, Pennsylvania, a little bit of light snow. Same thing for you into southern Rhode Island, Providence, Kingston, all spots. We could see some light snow and out towards Nantucket and the Cape as well. We're watching for that. Now, we're going to watch this morning this go away pretty quickly. So already dry air is working in D.C. We really did not get our much out of this. We did not get our first measurable snow, that's for sure. We had a little bit of light snow around Philadelphia and saw, a little bit of a slushy snow cover out there in the Chestnut Hill area. But again, that going away pretty quickly, and the roads will improve by lunchtime and by the evening commute home. You're doing much better right here. Then as we get through the day on Saturday, we will be watching for a little bit of snow to come on back into the area. New York City for us, that's Saturday about lunchtime. We'll get a burst of some steady snow as the southern part of Winter Storm Helena kind of scoots right off the coast and heads out to sea. Now, New York has been getting just a light dusting of snow overnight with into the weekend. Now, today, of course, watching things develop into the southeast. There'll likely be some cold rain as we start today across the south and east. We're going to be watching for that to change tonight to snow as it spreads in across northeast Georgia into South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg. You're right in it. Asheville will get some snow, but the bigger snow is actually not going to be in the mountains of North Carolina. We're looking at that right up here into the Piedmont, Raleigh, Greensboro. You guys are in the 5+ inches of snow right into southeast Virginia, Newport News, the Norfolk area. You guys are going to also get some significant snow. And then into Sunday we go, and the snow is out from the south. Midday Saturday, it's going to clip parts of the northeast, including around the Boston area. Then it's cold, and that takes over as a story, and the west will be watching for a lot of moisture and a lot of rain coming in. Up in the area, officially at the airport, only about 2.5, but you picked up a lot more up in the mountains. In fact, Steamboat Springs coming in with about 20 inches of snow. Breckenridge coming in with about that much as well. Here, bigger snow in the mountains, of course, even up into the foothills. Now, we spread out all of this moisture into the southern plains, and it is snowing this morning. It's been snowing in Oklahoma City. It's now snowing in Little Rock. It will get into Memphis. Lighter snow amounts, 1 to 3. But with temperatures in the teens and not really budging much more than low 20s today, we're going to see that stick around and stay a travel problem unless roads are cleared. Now we take a look at the rest of the southeast and forecast going forward. There'll be some light snow moving into Tennessee. That will be very light, less than an inch really for most of you. And then we watch our south system take over here as we see the moisture come in, a cold, chilly rain, maybe mixing with some snow or sleet through the afternoon. And then by this evening, after the sun sets, that's when the snowfall really expected to be most impactful and begin tonight into the overnight, and that's when the snow is going to fall, and it could fall very heavy at times. We're going to watch that on the I-85 corridor from Georgia right up into South Carolina and North Carolina. Raleigh, again, you may start as a wintry mix, but then the snow takes over. Exactly how much does depend somewhat, Raleigh, on how much time you spend underneath that wintry mix, how much sleet mix in, etc. But certainly there's the potential there for some much bigger totals in places like Raleigh, back towards, say, Greensboro, North Carolina, straight up into Norfolk, into the Newport News area, expecting 8 to 12 inches of snowfall. Charlotte, you are in the mix for potentially 5 to 8 inches of snow. Go back into Georgia. We've got 3 to 5 inches of snow, pretty widespread. The Atlanta area, more like 2 to 4. But in terms of accumulations, the chance is there. The chance is there that you only get about an inch. And some folks may not get any, but certainly the chance is there just as likely that you'll be on the higher amount of this as well. So for the Raleigh area, here's a look at what's happening with your snowfall forecast. Right now, the estimate is for 8 to 9 inches, pretty widespread across the area. A lot of this falling overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. The timing may be good, right? Hopefully you get where you need to be for the weekend and plan to stay there because temperatures are going to be cold after the snow falls. It's going to be tough to clear the roadways. Things are going to be pretty frozen solid. Plus, this storm, as it moves off the coast, kind of scoots right along the eastern seaboard, dropping a little snow around Atlantic City, New York City. We may get a little bit of snow about midday tomorrow, and then up towards the Boston area, hanging in for perhaps a couple of inches of snow, and out towards the Cape, we could see more than a half foot of snowfall there. Here's how things time out for us getting into the mid-Atlantic throughout midday tomorrow. This is lunchtime and just after 5 o'clock. We've got snow in Boston and Providence, eastern Connecticut. There'll be some snow falling for you as well. And southeastern New England, right through the Cape. You guys are going to hang on to that snow getting into Saturday night. That will be impacting your travel there. How much snow here? It is going to be, for the most part, fairly light, with the exception of the southeastern New England area, where you could get more than 5. this is actually going to be one of your coldest mornings at the bus stop that you've had at least since early January. And for some of you, tomorrow morning might be the coldest that you've had all winter. Let's look at Nashville. We're starting at 27. Feels like 17 right now out here with that wind chill all the way down to the deep south. It is chilly. It is cold this morning. So as we take a look from Nashville to Atlanta and then some other spots here through the southeast, we are going to be looking at this cold settling in for a couple of mornings. Freeze warnings are up all the way from Missouri, Kentucky, straight down into the Florida Panhandle, and a hard freeze warning in South Georgia and northeastern Florida there, not too far from Jacksonville. Yes, everything has started leafing out. The grass has started greening up. Your flowers are coming out, right? So I hope you covered things up last night because we are going to be concerned about this freeze. That's where we've had the early green up, and it's about 3 to 5 weeks ahead of schedule. This is where we have temperatures below 32 degrees this morning, and we know that the critical temperatures start to get even below 30. I learned with the cherry blossoms, for example, 29 degrees, 27 degrees, there starts to be some damage, but below 24 degrees, then you start to have a significant concern about damage. And when it stays that way for several hours, then you have real concern. And that's the case across, a good chunk of the south. You've got temperatures that stay that cold even into the afternoon. And then tomorrow morning, we go down again as this cold high pressure slides in and temperatures reach even lower numbers by tomorrow morning. We're sitting at 57 even in Miami, which is chill for us. We haven't been that way since January. Have we seen a temperature that cold? 24 in Nashville, 29 in Atlanta. We're not going to break records this morning. Old records were set back the day after the superstorm in 1993. So those some hard numbers to break. But today's highs staying below average. Tomorrow morning, we're going down again, and we may set some records tomorrow morning. Look at these numbers. Birmingham, 26, coming close. Jacksonville, we should set a new morning low, 28 degrees. Beating the old record of 30. Macon, Georgia, we should tie it, and then tying it as well in Charleston, South Carolina. Look at that, 28 degrees in Charleston. All right, looking at some other spots like Montgomery and Charleston and Tallahassee, your average last freeze has come and gone already. In fact, in Tallahassee, your average last freeze is the 21st of February. And yes, we are talking about sub-freezing temperatures tomorrow morning. So the reason why you may have already put out some annuals, right, especially with the warmth, and the reason why we're concerned about this cold coming on in. As I was watching the storm unfold yesterday, that was our eastern storm, it brought to mind, since it was the anniversary of the big superstorm of 93, the fact that we had that severe all the way down to Florida, and the storm extended up into the northeast. Just a very dynamic, far-reaching storm. Now, today, we want to take a look at what's coming next. We got some thunderstorm chances this week. Not a big severe event, but still the chance for storms getting into the end of the week, into the weekend, places like Nashville. Friday night, we got some thunderstorms coming your way. You notice those temperatures get a lot warmer, too. We're going to see us back into the 60s. So here's what's happening. We've got our next piece of energy, which is still out here, by the way, in the Pacific. We'll see that dive down over the Rockies, and we'll get that plus a little lee side low that develops to help get our next round of active weather going right here into portions of the Mississippi Valley and back into the southern plains. So we've got rain and thunderstorms on Friday in your forecast. We'll see that back into Arkansas, maybe into eastern Oklahoma, North Texas. It's possible Friday into Friday night. And then we take it into Saturday. The front loses a lot of its oomph. We don't have a ton of moisture returning into the front either, into the area with this front. So we won't be looking, I think, at big rain. It's certainly not going to be a big help to the drought, but anything would be better than nothing, right? So we'll look for some rain coming your way in places like Georgia and South Carolina. So Little Rock, we've got the chance for storms as well. Friday into Friday night, temperatures again warming back up. So we got 69 degrees for a high on Friday, a huge change from the cold that you have today and this afternoon. So we'll get those south winds that will help do that and bring some moisture back into the region that will help get us those thunderstorm chances here. Let's look at your forecast in Charlotte, North Carolina, because by the time the whole system comes in, we do warm up. So it is rain that comes in, but we really just have a chance of a couple of showers of your Saturday morning rain and then clearing out and cooling down after that. All right, let's go back up there. It was nice to have a mild February, but now we're back into it. Got to get back into that frame of mind, and we're going to keep those icy sidewalks for the next couple of days because we don't warm up until we get to the weekend. Here's a look. New York City, tomorrow we get to 36, so on the sunny side of the street, you'll do better. On the shady side of the street, I bet you still have that ice sticking around. Let's look ahead to Friday. So we've got our next little piece of energy comes out over the Rockies, helps us get some thunderstorms going on Friday across portions of Arkansas into Tennessee. Then we see the system push into the northeast. We could watch that go off the coast and throw back moisture and snow into southern New England, especially New York City. Should be mild enough that we don't get snow out of this one. In the south, warming back up as well. And coming up, while winter storm